Germany under Friedrich Merz and the US gave BlackRock a mandate to manage billions of euros and dollars, the very company for which Merz himself worked for many years. Like Merz, AfD leader Alice Weidel worked for Goldman Sachs and appears to be helping to implement their interests. Merz promised migration reform, a debt break, economic change, and an end to left-wing climate policy, but instead approved massive new debt, tripled defense spending, cut support for families and the vulnerable, and prioritized Ukraine and SPD demands over his pledges. The Merz-BlackRock link is a clear case of regulatory capture. Public debt is turned into private profit, since firms like BlackRock earn fees and returns from government borrowing, while the public bears the cost. The EU AI regulation is taking Europe out of the race as an AI competitor, and it is being pursued without major changes, even though many corporations have publicly explained that it is a key obstacle. It advances the agenda that Europeans will not build major AIs, allowing energy costs to explode with high CO2 emission prices and the cutting off of Russian and Arabian energy supplies and pipelines. Austria and much of Eastern Europe avoided Germany's energy crisis because the Druzhba pipeline from Russia stayed open, giving them a major economic advantage. The Nord Stream sabotage cut Germany off from cheap Russian energy and hit its industrial model at the core. Europe's silence and the US surge in expensive LNG exports make the consequences impossible to ignore. Regarding AI, explainability, and regulation, it appears that the neural AI approach with deep learning is intended to make governing bodies give up on regulating details and stop insisting on opening up the algorithms. They would not understand them anyway, as they're just billions of weights. The AI industry has even managed to achieve a complete absence of governance in the US, and Europe is not taking up the issue at the semantic level. Even though, since OpenAI's Q** or GPT-3 version, e.g., since 2024, the reasoning modes have been implemented using semantically regulable methods. AI hype is pushing users toward MOM models, boosting token use, LLM profits, and fundraising. But agents are still immature and lack the control structures in Jan LeCun's JEPA. Rising token costs may force more efficient, mature designs. This may be combined with more semantic JEPA techniques to make regulation easier. Don't believe YouTubers who say you can automate most company functions, including sales. People don't like being called by a bad chatbot. These are rip-off strategies meant to exploit people's naivety and time. The real goal of centralized AI is control. If a few corporations own the models shaping economic, social, and political life, they own the infrastructure of thought. This is techno-feudalism. Unlike traditional capitalists, they profit by controlling the platform itself. The AI-driven cloud platform lets capitalists profit by controlling digital territory and extracting rent from every transaction. A decentralized approach, thousands of specialized models trained on local data and governed democratically, would spread that power, which is why it is not being pursued. The US seeks tech and energy dominance, even at others' expense. The super-rich also back the AfD to advance pro-wealthy policies. Blocking the AfD while adding pressure is like shaking a sealed soda bottle. It could push voters toward the far right. There even seems to be an agenda to rip off independent founders. If countries wanted innovative companies to succeed, why not put the smartest people in charge with enough funding? Why not back the best ideas with the best people, even though this has proved to be the most efficient strategy? The response seems to be corruption and another agenda. Sabotage them, then brand them losers, steal their ideas, and hire their trained employees cheaply. Under Hitler, the Reichsbank adopted these policies and funded projects like the Autobahn. The Nazis were nationalist and socialist, unlike today's AfD, which is backed by the super-rich and lacks social policies. Post-war hyperinflation may have helped the Nazis rise and later punish Germans. Reunification caused huge losses when the Deutsche Mark replaced the Ostmark 1:1. This appears to have been in the interests of the super rich. First render their competitors and other companies uncompetitive, then buy them up cheaply, rather than allowing their potential competitors in the GDR to prosper. Other Eastern European countries handled it better and lost fewer jobs. Germany's Neuer market, modeled on NASDAQ but weakened by fraud and insider trading, was eventually shut down. By contrast, the stricter NASDAQ remains successful and continues to fund top US startups. The 2025 German election saw the left rise and the BSW collapse after ballot placement issues. Some votes were likely miscounted, possibly confused with Bündnis Deutschland. If BSW had won 0.02% more, the CDU-SPD coalition would have lost its majority. Across Europe, the super-rich, backed by the European Central Bank, are trying to bring far-right and fascist forces to power. In Italy, they have already succeeded, and EU chief Ursula von der Leyen works with neo-fascist Giorgia Meloni, even relying on her votes to secure majorities. In the Netherlands, Germany, France, and Spain, it may only take a few more years of bad policy. EU laws leave room for corruption, so cash suitcases from Qatar apparently didn't count as bribery or even as illegal. The accused were quickly released and kept the money. They all know bureaucracy is harmful, but they do little to reduce it because it hides their corruption. That corruption then drives honest companies out of business. Even if they wanted to bribe, they usually lack the connections established corrupt companies built over years. In the age of AI automation, many people seem to be viewed by them as useless eaters or unworthy life forms. Concentration camps have become less popular, except for IC and Homeland Security in the US. They seem to be setting the stage for deaths from pandemics, hunger, or riots, as shown in Leave the World Behind. How long will unelected ECB officials keep these disastrous policies? Probably until many countries have fascist governments, or until this leads to World War III or major civil unrest. The centralized development of large language models like ChatGPT, rather than a more efficient, decentralized competitive approach, could enable an AI surveillance state, while financial regulations such as CBDCs and the claimed fight against crime may strip power and money from ordinary people. The super-rich use the same gullible voters to elect moderates, secure subsidies, and then push bad policies. This began in Weimar Germany, where elites helped the Nazis rise and profited from World War II. When moderates fail, they steer voters toward fascism to extract more. Structural adjustment programs, SAPs, are reforms imposed by the IMF and World Bank on countries seeking loans. They often require austerity, privatization, and export-led policies, cutting public services, selling state assets, and increasing reliance on raw material exports. The profit-shifting machine, how value is extracted. Even when money enters the country, most of it flows back out. Commodity prices are set on distant exchanges like the LME. Trade and transfer mispricing then lets subsidiaries sell to low-tax hubs at artificially low prices, draining value. The profits are booked where tax rates are low, such as Singapore's Global Trader Program, while the producing country loses billions in tax revenue. Developing economies lose an estimated $80 to $90 billion a year to illicit financial flows linked to extractive industries. Satirical example, a lithium-rich country takes a $1 billion loan for a port. Prices crash, debt follows, and the bank claims the mines. You call it theft, they call it the treaty. Modern colonialism, no soldiers needed. Potentialism/per con flow, PCF, aims to improve capitalism by raising living standards up to 10x, reducing crime and corruption, and paying people and companies based on their net beneficial value, and BEV, using expert systems to guide powerful AIs in designing better policies.